Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching me from. Uh, Thank you for your view. Thank you for your subscription. Thank you for your likes and your comments. Uh, Today I'm titling this video Planning Your Travel for Success. I've noticed that many people fail in their travel plans even when they intend to go on a visit, a tourist visa, they still fail to get their visas because of poor preparation or planning. But basically, we are a travel vlog, and I'm a travel consultant and a relocation expert. So I just want to share some tips today as to how to go about planning your travel for success. In other words, those who fail to plan to fail. And traveling nowadays is kind of complicated. Lots of resources to be expended, lots of documents to be gathered together, and lots of preparation ahead of time. But since I've been targeting most of my videos to people who are planning on relocation and maybe traveling as digital nomads, expats, or intend to stay in foreign countries for a long time, my topic today, planning your travel for success, is centered around that. I've lived in several countries across the globe. I've traveled to well over 24, about 24 countries to date, and my children too have been traveling and have traveled with me to about 14 countries. We've lived predominantly in four, five, well, actually seven countries extensively. We just recently relocated from Mauritius and Cape Verde after being away for close to 8 years. And we've been in Nigeria now, going on 1.5 years. And basically, we are planning to relocate. We've taken our time to do our proper research and due diligence, and hopefully, within the next few months to probably a year, we will finally make our final immigrant journey to one of our five choices or options, which I've already shared in earlier videos. Today, I just want to advise people, give you free tips on how to plan. When you're planning a journey, the first thing you want to take note of is, well, from my own personal experience, there are two things that determine where I relocate to, especially being a family man. I'm a husband and a father of three children, married for about 15 years, and basically feeding a family of five isn't easy. So I'm looking at the cost of living in any country, and also I'm looking at the quality of life because we want a place that is family centric, where your family can grow and be nurtured and have a good lifestyle. And secondly, we want a place whereby the cost of living is not too expensive. So we consider the rent in the monthly rent for such areas. We consider the feeding costs, the cost of groceries, and what do you call it, clothing, accessories, electricity, utilities, and other things, data, and also other factors. We also consider the cost of private education, especially for the children, and other miscellaneous expenses. So those two things are what is key for us when we are traveling before anything else. Most times we love to travel to English-speaking country because we are an English-speaking nation in Nigeria, and all my life and the children's life, we've always spoken English. Although they know French quite reasonably because we were in Mauritius for over a year plus, and they have some sense of the Portuguese language. We are also in Cape Verde for well over 5 years. So that's it. So to learn a new language will not really be much of a problem for us. Maybe for me, as I'm getting old, so I'm not really linguistically gifted. But my wife and my kids do very well in terms of developing new languages. So that's that. So when we're planning, we look at countries that basically offer us the best deal in terms of cost of living and also good infrastructure, quality of life, where the children will feel safe, happy, and be able to move around, go to places like McDonald's, Burger King, Domino Pizzas, go to nice malls, be able to walk, go on a stroll in the evening, most times with beaches and everything, and just live a normal childhood life with lights, infrastructure, good roads, network, water, and basically have friends that's decent, kind of, sort of, without any threat to their lives or safety. So that's one. Then secondly, uh, we also look at the costs of the trip. Most times it's advisable to at least have enough resources, financial resources, to carry you for about anywhere from minimum of 6 months if you are keen on traveling fast, to as much as 1 year. Because wherever you're going to, you might not be able to get a job unless if you already gathered a job from before you leave. But if you're going there as an immigrant or a digital nomad, you have to have some source of income. So you're looking at things like how much will it cost for your tickets? If you're going on a tourist visa, which I will not advise, because with the tourist visa, you cannot really change your visa status. Most countries you have to leave if you want to apply for a new visa, either for a work permit or residency or digital nomad or even retirement visa. So it's always good to go with the proper visas. Uh, and so if you want to go as an immigrant or a digital nomad, they have digital nomad visas, they have retiree visas. If you are going as a student, you apply for a student visa. And if you are going for holiday purposes, then tourism. Most times, tourist visas are anywhere from 1 month to 3 months in some countries, as much as 6 months. Some places, it's actually visa free or visa on arrival. So that's it. So you make sure you have enough resources for your airline tickets. And if you're a family, it's a lot of money. I've also noticed in Nigeria that basically tickets are almost 50% more than other African countries. The reasons are numerous to mention. Number one, uh, airlines cannot repatriate their money back. So most of the time, they request that you pay in dollars, hard currency, or at times they charge you in the black market rate. I'll give a classic example. If I'm traveling to somewhere, a particular country in Latin America from Nigeria, the sum total is about 3 points for a family of five, just a one-way ticket. It's in the region of 3.2 to 3.5 with two specific airlines. And basically, the same two airlines, if I were to just travel to either, what do you call it, Ghana, which is about a 45-minute flight from Nigeria, or I go to Burkina Faso, which is about the same uh, 50 minutes flight, I could actually get that same ticket to those same destinations for less than two or one from Burkina Faso. I'll get a ticket for like the same ticket that was 3.2 million from Nigeria. I'll get the same tickets from Burkina Faso for about 1.7, 1.8 million, and then from Ghana about 2 million. If I go further to Senegal, which is another close to 2 hours flight from Nigeria, I'll get the same tickets at 2.2, 2.5 million. So to fly from Nigeria is bloody expensive. And so it's something you need to think about. You think about the tickets cost, and also you plan ahead of time, probably make your booking months ahead. Another trick with traveling is that there are days which are they are cheap. Tickets are cheaper, and there are days it's expensive. If you travel on weekdays, most especially from Monday to to Thursday and Friday. Mondays, Fridays are very busy and very expensive. Also at times Wednesdays, but and also on Saturdays. Weekends are slightly expensive for some destinations. But I've noticed that uh, at times it's cheap on Monday, especially to countries where people are not really going to. And Sundays, Mondays, and probably Thursdays are slightly cheaper in terms of fare rates. Never travel on a Saturday, and also never travel on the Friday. Those are probably the busiest days to travel from Africa. Another thing you have to do a lot of research when it comes to rental properties in the country you're going to. You make that long ahead of time. Check out how much apartments go for. If you are single, a studio apartment or a one bedroom will be fine. But if you have a family, then two or three bedroom apartments will be okay. Do you want a villa? That is, you have a place to yourself, a townhouse, or you want to stay in an apartment complex? They also have different residential areas. So based on your budget, you know which kind of lifestyle you want to live in. And so you need to research the rent real estate market long ahead of time. Uh, Probably give yourself anywhere from 3 months, sorry, from 6 months to as much as 1 year in advance to start doing your research and probably getting in touch with some real estate agents. Then another thing you should look at is basically you as a family person, are there good schools? They might not have English schools, but most countries actually do have international schools whereby or bilingual schools, whereby you get English teachers, or the, like in Latin America, you have Spanish bilingual schools that are Spanish and English, and then in Mauritius you have bilingual schools that are French and English. So if they have such options, the international schools are very ideal, but they're also very expensive. So if they have some local schools that basically have good quality public schools or missionary schools, that might be a better option. So you calculate, you write to the schools, find out how much the tuition fees is for a session that is for a full year, and calculate it how many children are you going with, how much can you afford to spend, and have the budget for that. So before you come, you already have enough resources to put your school children in one for a year in a school, and also try and see if you can also get admission before you come. If you're going to a country whereby you're going to learn a new language, then you make out some time too, maybe to have 3 to 6 months of language lessons in that local language, so your children and yourself are acclimatized and get familiar with the culture and the language and the people. Because most foreign countries, they appreciate it when foreigners speak their language as compared to you trying to impose your language on them. So that's a good idea, a good tip to get along with. Then another thing you should consider too is basically the culture, the food, the heritage. Because most times, coming from Nigeria, you used to a lot of traditional African food, but when you go there, you have to change your diet. You have to eat more of the foreign foods that they have there. You might not get the local vegetables you have here. You might not have your tubers of yam and your poundo yam and your dried pepper, dried fish, and all that stuff. So you have to be ready for that cultural shock or adjustments. And some countries they might not have the kind of churches if you are Christian or even mosques for you to practice your faith. So most times online we go to connect if you are connected, if your church is online, or you could subscribe to another church. Most of the churches will be either Anglicans or Catholic churches for most of the countries I've been to. So that's something to take note of. Then another thing to look at is basically the the job prospects, the opportunities available. Because I, for example, I'll be relocating on a retirement visa. I'm well over 50, well, not well over, just slightly over 50. And basically, I intend to just use my investments that I have gathered over the years to sustain myself. And now that I'm doing content creation and also I'm a book author of uh, of two books that are coming up for next month in March and sorry in April and another one in May. I intend to get some passive income from those in terms of royalties and ad revenues. So that's it. So I'm looking at ways to generate extra income even while not working. Although content creation is actually an active, not really passive. The old videos are passive, but there's a little element of active work involved, like what I'm doing now. So that's that. So have a form of income or enough retirement pension that's on a monthly basis you can survive without working or stressing yourself. So that is it. And then with the preparations, you must make sure that you have all your documents intact. You have to, if you are living from Nigeria, you need everybody, including a baby, needs a national identification NIN card number. And basically, without that, you can't get or renew a passport. So that's the first thing. Make sure you get your NIN card, ID card, and also you apply for your passports to make sure that all your passports are valid at least a year or two upfront, so that by the time your visas are finally given, by the time you're ready to go, you still have enough time. Because once your passport starts coming towards 66 months expiry period, then you're just not going to be allowed to board the plane, and that might affect your relocation plan. So make sure you have renewed your passport and you have enough time on your passport. At least I'll suggest anywhere from 9 months to a year after you arrive in the country. So that's something to consider. And the passports normally to get a new passport in Nigeria takes anywhere from 2 to 3 months. At times you might be unlucky to wait for almost 4 months. So you plan all this time period and also after you now need to apply for the visas. Some country visas takes a lot of time. Your passport might be held for almost 3 to 4 months extra. So all this time factor should be factored into your application process. You need to do biometrics, that is passport photos and fingerprints, and in some places even your DNA tests. Yeah, I know in some certain countries like America and Canada and maybe Australia, when you are relocating on a family visa, what they call it, family whatever family visa, you are asked to do DNA tests. So, but there are lots of countries whereby you don't even do biometrics. So those are things to factor in. Also, finally, I guess you need to have a lot of money because it's not easy getting a job there, especially as a foreigner. They will first of all consider the people. Most professional jobs are given to the expatriates. So if you haven't got a job from down here, you probably start with menial jobs which you never thought you'd work for while you're in country. But hey, you got to do what you got to do. You got to survive. So it's always good to have sufficient funds. It's always good to have enough resources to give your children and yourself and your family a good lifestyle. Maybe not as luxurious as what you do have when you're back home, but at least something that will make them transit easily into a new country. But the benefits are there, the healthcare facilities are free. Make sure you also get travel insurance to cover any medical emergencies, at least for the first few months. That's very key. In fact, it's a requirement for most visas. So that's that. And also try and reach out. Hook up with some people. There are Facebook community groups for the country you're going to. Try to get a feel of this thing. Watch a lot of YouTube videos. There's virtually a video for every city in the world on YouTube. So it's a good place to do your research. Also Google, find out more information about the country you're going to, and reach out to the different government agencies, the travel, the tourism boards, and everything. And also find out about the banking restrictions, the requirements, and also when you're traveling, find out about the immigration procedures. Yes, and the vaccinations you need to do, whether you need a COVID test or a vaccination, and just get yourself prepared. And once you've done all these things and you're diligent and you do enough research, if you need to consult, you might have to get in touch with a consultant that's probably based there. But be careful because there are lots of fraudulent consultants out there because you might pay them some money and before you know it, they disappear. So make sure that you have proper links in the country, people you're familiar with or you've developed some friendship with, and that can help and guide you. And my key, my caution, my is that never pay anybody you are not comfortable with, anybody you're not familiar with. So just avoid scams. There's scams everywhere, not just in Africa. It's even more so in all the so-called Western countries. So with those few tips, I think well, you are 90% to success. Have faith, have confidence, pray, and who knows, anything can happen. Most times, the best visas to apply for are digital nomad visas that gives you anywhere from 1, 2, or 3 years to reside in the country while you work online, and also retirement visas that give you us from 3 years to 5 years. These two visas you can easily convert to a more permanent residency status or even a citizenship for most countries in Asia and even Africa. A few countries, lots of countries, over 70 countries offer digital nomad visas. Also, the student visa, if you have money for schooling, is also a good one. And you need to make sure. Why I don't like the student visa route is that you have to pay your school fees, and even if they give you a job, it's not even enough to sustain your upkeep. So it's a dangerous one to go and spend money you're bringing from your country, especially when you have to sell a lot of things and you don't really have any other source of income. I will not advise that. Tourist visa as well. Some countries are liberal. You go with a tourist visa, you can still change, but many countries are not. So that's all. I hope this has been helpful to some of you. And if you think it's been helpful and this kind of content you like to watch, then please subscribe. I'm new at this, 6 weeks so far. So far, I've gotten some good organic subscribers growth, and the views are quite impressive. So please do subscribe, let me have your comments, and share, and let's keep this going. As time goes by, we'll have better quality videos. I'll get the gear and everything. And also, as my family plans to relocate, keep up, keep up with us and see all the processes as we apply for to renew our passports and everything, and also all the steps taken when we pack and rest. It will be a wonderful adventure and entertainment, story, and you get to experience a family. Also, my shots is family is more centered around family lifestyle and happiness contents and also travel vlogs. So I appreciate you once again, and I say thank you. Keep encouraging me. Please subscribe, press the bell button, and let's get the algorithm working for this channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and God bless you. Bye.